Most people don't lose money because they are careless. They lose it because they are standing inside systems that quietly drain them. These systems don't feel dangerous. They feel normal. That's what makes them powerful. A money trap isn't a bad decision. It's a structure that keeps taking money long after the decision is made. Once you step into it, leaving becomes harder than staying. The system keeps running, even when it's hurting you. That's why so many smart, hardworking people end up financially stuck, not because they failed, but because the systems around them slowly remove their margin. And margin is the whole game. Margin is the gap between what you earn and what you must spend to survive. Margin is what absorbs shocks. Margin is what turns an emergency into annoying instead of catastrophic. When margin is thin, life becomes reactive, not emotional, not lazy, reactive. And here's something most people don't realize yet. Once you start losing margin, the traps start stacking. Let's begin with the most common one, the subscription leak. Most people don't feel poor because of one large expense. They feel poor because of dozens of small ones. Streaming services, phone apps, cloud storage, music subscriptions, software tools, gym memberships, delivery memberships, premium ad-free upgrades, auto-renewing trials you forgot about. Each one feels harmless. £5 here, £10 there. But systems don't care about size. They care about totals. Every subscription is a hole in your financial bucket. One hole doesn't matter, 10 do. Imagine a bucket slowly leaking water. You don't notice the drip, but after enough time, the bucket is empty. That's how subscriptions work. They don't cause emergencies. They remove protection. And here's the part most people miss. Subscriptions create silent fixed costs. Fixed costs are the most dangerous costs because they keep charging even when your income drops. If your hours get cut or you miss a week of work, fixed costs don't care. They keep pulling. That's why the subscription trap isn't about entertainment. It's about making your baseline too expensive. And if this is already changing how you see your money, like this video and subscribe to Poverty Traps. Because every week, we expose the systems that keep people stuck without realizing why. Now, add the second trap, minimum payments. When you owe money, paying the minimum feels responsible. You're not ignoring the debt. You're doing what the statement tells you to do. But the system is doing something else. It's keeping the balance alive. And as long as the balance is alive, interest keeps growing. The payment feels like progress, but the balance barely moves. You pay, the debt stays. The interest grows. This turns short-term borrowing into long-term extraction. Instead of solving the problem, it stretches it. And it does something more dangerous. It steals future margin. Because tomorrow's money is now assigned to yesterday's decisions. Minimum payments aren't a solution. They are a subscription to your own debt. That's why people can pay every month and still go backwards. You don't feel punished today. You feel weakened tomorrow. And because tomorrow feels far away, nothing feels urgent now. This is how people live inside debt for years, without ever feeling like they're in crisis. Because the system never breaks. It just quietly keeps collecting. Now comes the trap that feels like freedom. Buy now, pay later. It feels modern, flexible, helpful. No interest, no stress, no immediate pain, but the system doesn't remove the price. It delays it. Every time you use buy now, pay later, you spend future income before it arrives. You trade tomorrow's margin for today's comfort. One purchase doesn't matter. 5. Start 2. Because the trap isn't the purchase. The trap is the overlap. Multiple small payments stack on top of each other until your next paycheck arrives, already divided into pieces. And when income arrives pre-divided, you lose flexibility. When your income finally shows up, it's already assigned to past decisions. That means when something unexpected happens, there is nothing left to move. That is the definition of fragility. Now add the trap that hides inside being responsible, lifestyle creep. When income rises, spending rises with it. A nicer phone, a better car, a more comfortable apartment, more subscriptions, more convenience, more delivery, more just to make life easier. Nothing feels irresponsible. But the system resets. You earn more, but you don't become safer. Your margin stays the same. This is why people can double their income and still feel broke, because the system absorbs every increase. Lifestyle creep doesn't look like luxury. It looks like normal upgrades that quietly become permanent. Permanent costs are the most dangerous costs because you can't cancel them in a panic. Now look at what happens when all these traps operate together. Subscriptions drain quietly. Debt stretches forward. Future income is pre-spent. Lifestyle costs lock in. Everything looks fine until something small happens. A car repair, a medical bill, a rent increase, a cut in work hours, a family emergency. The system is tested. Income stays fixed. Costs rise. Margin disappears. Now every decision becomes reactive, not because of panic, but because the structure allows no alternative. This is what people mean when they say they are one emergency away. It isn't a feeling, it's a system. And this system has a pattern. First, you lose margin. Then you lose options. Then you lose time. Then you lose control. Most people don't collapse financially. They slide. Small changes. Small costs. Small compromises. Nothing feels dangerous until the options are gone. And by the time it feels serious, the structure is already weak. Now let's add two traps that almost nobody names, but almost everyone experiences. Trap 1. Fees and friction. Late fees, overdraft fees, penalty charges, delivery fees, convenience fees. Interest on interest. These aren't normal costs. They're the price of being fragile. When margin is low, you pay more for the same life. The same £50 bill costs you £50 if you're stable and £70 if you're fragile. That's how poverty compounds. Not through one big mistake, but through repeated penalties for not having margin. Trap 2. Decision fatigue. When money is tight, you make more decisions every day than someone with margin. Do I pay this now or later? Do I risk the fee? Do I delay the bill? Do I borrow from next week? That constant decision-making drains mental energy. And tired decision makers choose short-term relief. Not because they're weak, because they're human. That's why these systems are so powerful. They rely on exhaustion. Now here is the useful part. How to see a money trap before it closes. A trap always has 3 signals. Signal 1. It reduces visibility. If you can't clearly see what it costs you each month, it's a trap. Signal 2. It removes friction. If spending feels effortless, it's a trap. Signal 3. It reduces flexibility. If it makes tomorrow tighter to make today easier, it's a trap. Here is the rule that changes everything. If something reduces your future flexibility, it's a trap. If something feels comfortable but limits your options, it's a trap. If something makes today easier by making tomorrow harder, it's a trap. You don't escape money traps by earning more. You escape them by protecting margin. And protecting margin is structural. Make costs visible. Add friction to spending. Protect flexibility. Visibility means knowing your real baseline, not what you hope it is. Friction means you don't allow money to disappear automatically. Automatic is where traps live. Flexibility means you keep a buffer, even a small one, because buffer buys options. Margin absorbs shocks. Margin creates choices. Margin keeps systems stable. Without it, even small problems become disasters. That's why so many people fall into financial trouble without anything dramatic happening. They don't crash. They slide. If this video made you see something you didn't before, subscribe to Poverty Traps. We don't do motivation here. We explain systems. And comment below, which money trap did you recognize first? Subscriptions? Minimum payments? Buy now, pay later? Lifestyle creep? Fees? Or decision fatigue?